All right, guys, we have been learning and reading stories about saving money, spending money, and giving money. And so I'm going to read you a story today called A Chair for My Mother that, goes along to what we've been reading. A Chair for My Mother by Vera B. Williams. My mother works as a waitress in the Blue Tile Diner. After school, sometimes I go to meet her there, and then her boss, Josephine, gives me a job too. I wash the salts and peppers and fill up the ketchup. One time I peeled all the onions for the onion soup, and when I finished, Josephine says, "Good work, honey," and pays me, and every time I put half of my money into the jar. Have you guys ever saved up money in a jar?
Yeah. We're doing so right now.
You are? That's awesome. It takes a long time to fill a jar that big. And every day when my mother comes home from work, I take down the jar. My mama empties all the change from her tips out of her purse for me to count, and then we push all the coins into the jar. Sometimes my mama is laughing when she comes home from work, and sometimes she's so tired that she falls asleep while I count the money out into the piles. Some days she has lots of tips, and some days she only has a little. Then she looks worried. But each and every single shiny coin goes into the jar. How many are in there? You want to come look? Okay. We sit in the kitchen to count the tips, and usually Grandma sits with us too. While we count, she likes to hum. Often she has money in her old leather wallet for us, and whenever she gets a good bargain on tomatoes or bananas or something she buys, she puts by the savings that they go into the jar. So, yeah, you can say. So who's helping? Who's helping save money?
The grandma.
That's right. Who else?
The mom and the daughter.
So they're all helping save money. They're working together. When we can't get a single other coin into the jar, we are going to take out all the money and go buy a chair. Yes, a chair, a wonderful, beautiful, fat, soft armchair. And we will get one covered in red velvet with roses all over it. And we are going to get the best chair in the whole world. That is because our old chair is burned up, and there was a big fire in our other house. All our chairs burned, and so did our sofa, and so did everything else. And that wasn't such a long time ago. Have you guys ever lost anything that you love?
Yeah. Yeah, but definitely not in a fire.
Definitely not in a fire.
We've never had any fires in our house, but my friend Shizi has not had one in her house, but one next to her house.
Wow. Wow. That sounds like a scary story. Let's find out.
I've seen
My
a
mother
fire
and I.
before.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
My mother and I were coming home from buying new shoes, and I had new sandals, and she had new pumps, and we were walking to our house from the bus. We were looking at everyone's tulips, and she was saying she liked red tulips, and I was saying I like yellow ones. And then we came to our block. So is this story in the present or in the past?
Past.
So she's telling about what happened in the past?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right outside our house stood two big fire engines. I could see lots of smoke. Tall orange flames came out of the roof, and all the neighbors stood in a bunch across the street. Mama grabbed my hand and we ran. My Uncle Sandy saw us and ran to us. Mama yelled, "Where's Mother?" I yelled. "Where's my grandma?" My Aunt Ida waved and shouted, "And she's here, she's here, she's okay, don't worry." Grandma was all right. Our cat was safe too, though it took a while to find her, but everything else in our whole house was spoiled. What does that mean, spoiled?
No more. What is the book mean by Where's Mama?
Well, when they got to the house, they were looking for the grandma to make sure the grandma was okay.
But what about the mama?
The mom was there, but that's her mama. The
Oh.
grandpa's her mama. What was left of the house was turned to charcoal and ashes. We went to stay with my mother's sister, Aunt Ida, and Uncle Sandy. And then we were able to move into the apartment downstairs. We painted the walls yellow, the floors were all shiny, but the rooms were very empty. How does that make you feel? What is that?
Sad and happy at the same time.
Yeah, sad that they lost everything, but happy that they were okay and they had a new place to live. That sounds really nice. Look at that. The first day we moved in, the neighbors brought pizza and cake and ice cream, and they brought a lot of other things too. The family across the street bought a table and 3 kitchen chairs, and the very old man next to us gave us a bed from when his children were little. My other grandpa brought in his beautiful rug. My mother's other sister Sally had made us red and white curtains, and Mama's boss Josephine brought pots and pans, silverware, and dishes. My cousin brought me her own stuffed bear.
Aww.
Everyone clapped when my grandma made a speech. You are all the kindest people, she said, and we thank you very, very much. And it's lucky we're young and can start all over. So what do you notice the community doing?
Helping.
Yeah, everybody coming together and helping them. They must be really nice people. You know, you guys can help your community like that too.
Yeah.
Help people in need. The jar is full. Oh, that's amazing. That was last year, but we still have no sofa and no big chairs. And when Mama comes home, her feet hurt. There's no good place for me to take a load off my feet, she says. And when Grandma wants to sit back and hum and cut up potatoes, she has to get off as comfortable as she can on a hard kitchen chair. So that is how come Mama brought home the biggest jar that she could find at the diner, and all the coins started to go into the jar. Now the jar is too heavy for me to lift down. Uncle Sandy gave me a quarter, and he had to boost me up so I could put it in. You see how tired she is there?
Mm-hmm.
That was last year, but we still had no sofa and no big chairs. Oops, that was the same. After supper, Mama and Grandma and I stood in front of the jar. Well, I never would have believed it, but I guess it's full, Mama said. Her mother brought home little paper wrappers for the nickels and the dimes and all the quarters, and I counted them all out and wrapped them all up. On my mother's day off, they took all the coins to the bank. The bank exchanged them for $10 bills. And then we took the bus downtown to shop for our share. Has anyone ever been inside a bank before?
Yes.
Yes.
Multiple times.
Multiple times.
Yeah. Multiple times.
We shopped through 4 furniture stores and we tried out big chairs and smaller ones, high chairs and low chairs, soft chairs and harder ones. Grandma said she felt like Goldilocks and the 3 bears trying out all the chairs. Have you ever heard of that story?
Yeah.
That sounds like such a blast. And finally, we found the chair that we were all dreaming of, and the money in the jar was enough to pay for it. We called Aunt Ida and Uncle Sandy, and they came right down into their pickup truck to drive the chair home for us. And then they know that we couldn't wait for it to be delivered. It's fine. He's totally fine. He can watch. Do you want to come see the book? No. Okay. Look, all of the chairs. Which one are they going to pick?
Big red one.
Yes. Look at her. I tried out our chair in the back of the truck. Mama wouldn't let me sit there while we drove, but they let me sit in there while they carried it up to the door. Can you drive in a chair in a truck?
No.
No.
I mean, unless you're in the driver's seat.
Yeah. But they got the chair. They all worked together and they saved that money. We set the chair right beside the window within the red and white curtains. Grandma and Mama and I all sat in it while Aunt Ida took our picture. Now Grandma sits in it and talks with people going by in the daytime, and Mama sits down and watches the news on TV when she comes home from her job. And after supper, I sit with her and she can reach right up and turn out the light if I fall asleep in her lap. You see? They got their big comfy chair. So actually get 3 jars and some labels and put the labels on them. One of them
Sounds like a great idea.
for spending, one of them for saving, and one of them for giving. Kind of like how the community gave to them.
That
Is there
sounds
anything
great.
else that you guys would want to save that money for? Do you think of ideas? Not
A
right now?
couple.
Give you some time to think about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening.